The finals just got some brand new dev updates. We also have a brand new highlight reel and some neat statistics with the Power Shift game mode, as well as a few other hidden details. We have some cool brand new community posts and some new details surrounding the world tours, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up world, it's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the final. So first up, we do have some developer updates from Oscar. The first one here being with the new Melee contract, which does seem to be bugged for most individuals. Oscar did in reply here saying, I think we're solving that in the coming update, which again more than likely will be this Wednesday on the 26th, and it looks like we might also be getting a community event. However, that seems like it's going to be happening next week, where Oscar did detail here that he's going to be doing another stream then next week. So I don't think that's going to be happening this week, and I do think the community event will happen with that and coincide with that next week. There hasn't been too much chatter over on the Discord from the developers as of recently. Oscar did go over why this is. So Oscar in a reply here to this message saying, I'm surprised they don't have a community rep that's there specifically to talk to us about what's going on. Oscar did reply here saying, I mean, that's all our CMs and himself. Where another message here did some more clarification. Someone else asked here, by the way, Oscar, do other devs not like chatting on the server? I only see you, Rob, and Dusty chatting. Oscar did clarify here saying it's not a part of their actual jobs to chat there, but it is a part of Oscar, Dusty's, and the other CMs to be there. Many of them do read a lot, but it's also quite terrifying engaging with a lot of the community for the first time. A lot of the stuff on the Discord is unfiltered, and a lot of the critique which is not constructive at all. It's a part of his job or Oscar's job to sift through this, find what's constructive, and bring it to the team so that they don't have to. I will say, to add on to this, there was a lot of discourse and discussion from the developers before the game launched, and even for the first 2 months. I went through a lot of this in my older videos. I covered a lot of devs that were talking. There were actually some that no longer work at Embark. There was a few there that were talking on the Discord, but again, some of them actually don't even work with Embark anymore, or at least it seems like they might have been potentially contracted workers. So there is a lot less chatter from the actual developers at this point, or at least as of now. There could be several reasons for this. There was a lot of hype for the game's launch, so it was a lot much more fun chatter there, whereas now on the Discord it's a lot of critical talking and a lot of critiques about the game itself, or even about the balance. So it might not be as fun for them to engage with this stuff anymore. So that is kind of my take on it overall. I've also noticed that Oscar and Dusty haven't really been communicating as much on the Discord as well. Again, that could be because of how Season 3's launch went, with a lot of the critiques there being around the ranked mode. I do think that's definitely part of it, although it could just be with the launch of the game being so far off now, or at least so far into this release cycle that they're kind of taking a little bit of a step back. Things do eventually burn out there, so it's definitely understandable why there is less chatter. Although I do wish it was the same communication as we had before, it's still at a pretty decent level. Hopefully in the next coming seasons and weeks we will get some more chatter and some more developer updates from the devs and CMs themselves. We also had that brand new Episode 3 Season 2 highlight reel. Again, we had a post here over on the servant announcement page from Oscar, who went on here to say we have a couple more to go, but it's time to collect all of your Season 3 highlights. So it does look like they're already looking for Season 3 highlights, although this does pertain to Season 2 specifically, at least the highlight Episode 3. He said for those Season 3 highlights, head over to the Highlight Submissions tab and submit your best and worst moments so far for Season 3 in the new form, and they're going to be working on that new Season 3 highlight reel. So it does look like they're trying to get ahead of the game of that, and a lot of people have been suggesting them to do the new highlights, and they wanted those new highlight reels posted. So it looks like for Season 3, they're kind of on top of that a lot further than they were with the Season 2 stuff, and obviously they want to get that out sometime sooner. Again, I'll include the submission tab here. It does have to be MP4 AVI or MOV, and it cannot be an MKV. 16:9, 1080p, H.264 preferred, and the max size has to be 500 megabytes, while also only being 60 seconds in max. They also added here that they want a 10-second intro and a 5-second outro being ideal, so leading up to the clip itself, not exactly starting at the exact moment of the highlight reel. But again, further details on that as well as the submission form are going to be over on the highlight reel tab, but I'll also include a link to it down below. Moving on though, just like the Twitch Rivals event, we actually do have another tournament happening. This is the first community hosted tournament for the finals. Currently this is being labeled the Genesis Series. There are a few details around this, like anyone can enter and win. The date for this is actually very soon, July 6th and 7th. The set time for this is 12 GMT, which is actually 7 AM CST, 8 AM EST, and 5 AM PST. So obviously it is a bit EU-centric there. The prize pool for that is around 100 euros for each gift card, which will be split between 3 different teams. This will also be broadcasted over on Twitch, which will be under the Virtual Viewfinder's Twitch channel. Now I'm going to link down below to the Discord and all the stuff there with that. chat. That way if there's any further details on this or any new information and ways to enter, what you do by simply contacting the virtual viewfinder over on Discord. Again, this is completely community run, and any more details or new information about the tournament should be over on their Discord. I'll include links to everything down below so you guys can sign up and if you want to enter into this. Jumping over, we did have some new details and statistics around the Power Shift game mode. So of course, the more people you have on the platform, the faster it will go. It does seem like this is capped at 3 players. And of course, if you do put goo on the platform, it will actually slow it down. Someone did actually time all of these results, which from the starting point with only 1 player on there, it does take a total of 3 minutes and 57 seconds to complete that. 2 players would be 3 minutes and 9 seconds, and 3 players is 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So essentially with 3 players, it's about half the length to actually complete a full round there, or up until the finish line from the starting point. I hope some more people do some testing with the Power Shift mode and kind of how that platform works, especially with the goo and how much that slows down. Maybe I'll potentially do some work there and try to figure that out. Or how much goo actually does take to slow it on the platform, or per thing, or per grenade. Again, a lot of that stuff would be really cool to detail overall, so maybe I'll try to figure that out. I am a bit biased here, but I do hope they switch out Terminal Attack for Power Shift as the ranked mode for next season, or potentially bring Cash Out for you guys back. Although if Power Shift is the ranked mode, I definitely will play it more, as it is my favorite mode and I do play that the most. I also know that during the Terminal Attack announcement, a lot of people were requesting it to be Power Shift instead. Although overall they probably should balance it a bit more, but it would be nice to see if we do get that eventually. Also, some of the community feedback led to the player cards. I do know those were kind of critiqued, especially during my stream. A lot of people wish there was a little bit more flavor there, especially when you compare it to other games like Apex. They do have some better player cards overall, at least in my opinion. Somebody here actually did redesign the player cards. This was done by Wheatleyarts over on the subreddit, where he showcases this brand new redesigned player card. I do think this would be really cool to add to your player card, some of these neat statistics over on the bottom left. He also adds a nice background image here, which the backgrounds they have for it so far are kind of a little bland. Hoping they do something like this in the future. This one looks really good. But at least for now, we do have some player card stuff and some showcase stuff there overall. We also have some further community feedback here about Terminal Attack, or at least a new mode featuring Terminal Attack, something called Terminal Rush, which is again something that happened in Battlefield, or a lot of Battlefield game modes do actually take this into account, where it is essentially 2 matches. Teams swap their roles just like in Terminal Attack. However, in this case, it is essentially zone pushing, which is akin to Battlefield's modes, where you do push through each zone. This essentially makes the match a little bit longer and a little bit more interesting. And again, each zone would be a decryption key segment. Everybody would get 1 starting coin and 1 coin added with every new zone. Or this is essentially what his plan is here. Although with Battlefield, I'm pretty sure it is unlimited respawns with that. I think this definitely adds some further dynamics to it and makes that match a little bit longer. I have noticed that Terminal Attack matches can end very, very fast and can be a little bit boring as far as the destruction and a few other elements go. I do think this is a better dynamic there, although I doubt this would be put in ranked. Although I would like to see something like this, as I do think it adds more dynamic element. We also have this post here where someone talks about that Embark secretly added ragdoll physics. However, that's actually not the case. The ragdoll physics have always been in the game, except typically the player models do disappear when they actually get eliminated, and they do that coin animation, so you don't actually see the ragdoll physics there. But they have always been in the game, they just don't get utilized because they disappear for that coin elimination, or at least the coin animation overall. But it is cool to see that they've always had that there just as a placeholder essentially, although I'm still glad that they used the coin animation. But overall, that should cover it for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and to the next one. Deuces.